Welcome back to We Just Live Here.
We also just clean teeth here.
Speaking of cleaning teeth, that's what our episode's going to be about today.
Yes. We're talking about dental hygiene, and we're going to start with how you got into it.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
No, you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I was one of those weird kids who knew what they wanted to do when they were 8 years old.
Wow.
I came out of the dentist's office and I told my mom, I'm going to work here one day. She said, why? I said, because I like it. Everyone's so nice. Everyone knows my name. I now know they just read my name off a chart.
And they probably forgot it 4 times before they called you back.
Exactly. Now that I work in this industry, I'm like, oh, the truth behind everything.
That's so funny.
But I loved it. Everyone was so nice. Shout out to Dr. Tanaka's office because it was, my mom took me every 6 months, my whole family every 6 months. I missed the first hour of school because she took me at the 8 o'clock
really
appointment.
Why she wanted to go.
But I told her, I was like, I want to work there one day. And then I realized the position names and I wanted to be a dental hygienist. And then when I was 12, I knew what school I was going to go to. I was going to go to NAU because it's the only college in the state that had a bachelor's degree dental hygiene.
Girlie had it all figured out.
I did. And I remember sitting at lunch my freshman year with 2 of my friends, Allison and Whitney, and they were like, we should all move to New York City together. And I'm like, definitely. They're like, we could all be lawyers. I said, no, I'm going to be a dental hygienist. And they laughed at me. They were like, why?
Yeah.
Like, and then I thought, is this a weird job? I don't know. I loved it. I was like, because I like going to the dentist. They're like laughing. And guess who's the only one who actually did? None of them are lawyers.
You became a dental hygienist.
I did. So there. But
knew.
anyways, so when I was 18, I only applied for one school, which is so dumb. I should have applied to so many schools.
I only applied to one.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I got in.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. But I should have applied to everywhere. Like, how cool would it have been to go to a dental hygiene
another
school,
state,
like in New York or, I don't know,
stressful.
The East, probably. It all worked out.
It's stressful enough in your own state.
True. So I applied to NAU. I got in. I had the best freshman year ever. Then I could apply for the dental hygiene program after my freshman year. It only needed 1 year prereqs.
Okay.
And it was a 3-year program, and you still did prereqs your sophomore year.
Okay.
So I applied, and I got in. Well, I didn't get in at first. I was on the wait list.
Oh, that's right. I remember you telling me.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think I was going to get in, and I have this friend we went to dental hygiene school together, but we took all our prereqs together and we knew we were both applying. She got in right away and she's like, Elise, you have to ask them like where you are on the wait list. Are you number 1? Are you number 20? And I said, I'm not going to ask. I don't want to know.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to know either.
Right?
Because what if you're like number 20?
Yeah, if you're number 20, like, oh man, so sad. If you're number 1 and then you don't get called.
Annoying because you were so close.
Think that you're for sure going to get called and then you don't.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. So I would told her, I was like, no, I'm not going to ask. She's like, I'm going to call and ask them. I'm like, they're not going to tell you.
What number is my friend?
So then I'm walking home from ceramics one day. I get a call from the dental hygiene department. I didn't know that was who it was, but I answered. She said, hi, well, you got in. You're in. I screamed, oh my gosh. I screamed in her ear and I was like, I'm so excited. I can't believe this is happening to me. She's dying laughing. And then she's like, you need to come in and put down a $500 deposit to save your spot. And then after I hung up, it hit me. I've never looked in a mouth a day in my life. This is an 8-year-old's dream.
But you made it.
What if I hate this? So I did it. I did the 500. I was like, I've come this far. Got to do it. Got in, whatever. First day of lab, we're looking in each other's mouths. And I was like, okay, I like this.
Okay. That's lucky.
And I like it ever since. So
that's good.
That's how I got into it.
Mine is not as cool.
I'm sure it's cool.
No,
it's different.
When I got out of high school, I think I wanted to be a teacher.
Oh, really?
But I didn't know.
Both my parents are teachers, and I was like,
Okay. I don't have really any
They
teachers in my
love it.
family.
They love it. They're so good at it, but I'm like, not for me.
Yeah. No, like looking back now, I don't think it would be for me, but I wanted to teach English really bad.
Oh, cool. You would be so good at that.
Because I loved writing. I loved to read.
Yeah.
I just thought it would be perfect. But I was taking prereqs just at community college for nothing. Like,
what'd you go to San Diego for?
For school, but I just didn't like it, and I came home.
Did you go to a community college there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is so different from Arizona Community College.
Really?
Yeah. So it's more structured like a university.
Oh, that's
in
cool.
a way. But by the time I was out of state, obviously, and so I applied. Obviously, you get in, but they give you, dependent on like, I don't know what the factors are, but maybe when you applied, like it was kind of last minute, which is why I did community college. They don't just let you sign up for classes. So I had a date that I could, and it was like 3 weeks before the start of class. So like 3 weeks before classes started, I hadn't even picked mine yet.
Oh my goodness.
So
that would stress me out.
And everything was pretty much taken. So I took Spanish, which they told me to. My teacher was like, you are better off withdrawing. Like you... And I was like, no, girl, you're right. Like, I'm so...
What?
Like, my brain can't compute, like, a foreign language.
She said you're better off withdrawing.
She's like, the withdrawal date is in 3 weeks. Like, see how you do, but I think you should withdraw. And I think I stayed, but I don't know how well I did. I think I barely passed, but...
Oh, my gosh.
Which is crazy because I'm a really good student, but for that, I'm not.
Foreign language, no.
But yeah, everything was pretty much taken. So I had, like... this freshman college course they make you take, a Spanish class, and a math class, and one other thing. But it was just strange. And it was hard to make friends because it's not like you're living on campus.
Oh, you weren't?
No, I lived with my dad. And...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so, but I lived right by the beach, which was awesome. I literally could walk maybe 10 houses down and be at Sunset Cliffs, which if anyone's ever been to San Diego, you might know where that is. But
that is so cool.
It was awesome. And it was a fun
my
experience for like a year. But then I missed my friends. Everyone was doing fun stuff without me, and I wanted to come home. So I did. But when I got home, I just kept going to community college, and I was just kind of like, oh, I don't know what to do. And one day I was talking to one of my friends, and she was like, I have something so weird to say. And I was like, what? She's like, you look just like my dental hygienist.
No way.
And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. She's like, you should do that. Like, you have a good personality for that. And I was like, I don't know. Like,
what?
Just like a random friend. Like, I think it might have even been a coworker. Like, I wasn't even very close with them. Well, then all of a sudden I was like obsessed with this idea.
Okay.
So I was like looking
into it. The seed was planted.
Yeah. But then, I became a dental assistant first because I went to Carrington, and they were like, you should really do assisting first, which I don't regret, but I do think it wasted some of my time, of course.
You don't have to.
And I did that, and I did an extern, and I worked for maybe 6 months as a dental assistant. And then I applied to hygiene school, like fingers crossed, hope I get in.
Yeah.
Was stressed for like a straight month because you don't find out right away. And then finally they were like, you got in.
Oh my gosh.
And I could breathe again.
Yes. Oh, I've been
And then
there.
the real fun began.
No.
But no, I don't regret it. Like, I mean, it was weird. I would have never woke up as a kid and been like, I want to be a dental hygienist.
Right. No, I did.
But she's weird.
I am weird. I'm one of those weird kids. Oh, I snorted, I think. But somebody said you look like hygienist, got obsessed, and then you did
Yeah,
it.
I just started looking into it, and it sounded like something I would like.
Was your program 18 months?
No.
2 years?
Mine was 22 months.
22 months.
Or
okay.
no. Mine might have been 2 years exactly.
That's the thing about dental hygiene is there are so many different programs.
Yeah, and they're all different lengths.
Yeah. Mine was 3 years, but I got my bachelor's at the end.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I loved that.
Ours was interesting because so technically it was 2 years and 8 months, but the hygiene coursework was 2 years. So we had some girls that had all their prereqs done, and they would take like a class, and then they would be off for like 2 months because until we started hygiene related courses, they didn't need to come because they'd already had a
What?
credit for that.
Oh
So-
my goodness. That's cool. That's interesting. What a different program. That it's just so interesting. I think there's so many different dental hygiene programs. They do it all differently, but we all learn the same things.
Yeah, exactly.
We all end up being able to do all the same things. And that's what I
Yeah.
say about hygiene, different hygienists, especially with some of my patients. Like I know we're pretty similar,
Yeah.
but I'm like, we all do the same thing. We just do it differently.
Yeah,
Like,
different routes to get there for sure.
Like, but even in cleaning a mouth, like
Oh, yeah.
I have a different routine than you. I probably do things a little bit differently, but the
Yeah.
job gets done.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's true. I think a lot of people assume that everyone learns the exact same way,
Oh no.
but you really don't. There's so much variation.
I will say that from lots of different dental hygienists I've talked to, one similarity of our education though, there's lots of similarities, but one is like how intense the instructors are.
Yeah.
Were they intense? I
Yeah.
remember it was like all or nothing.
Yeah.
You're gonna like patients will
And
hate
sometimes
you.
you're just
you're
like-
not gonna get a lunch. This job is cutthroat. And I'm like,
yeah, they
oh
want
my
to
gosh.
scare you.
Yeah, they scare you.
And I'm kind of like, wait, why am I here?
Yeah. And then you get into the job and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I got a lunch first day.
I know.
I didn't have to sneak bites of food out of my
Mm-mm.
drawer like my instructor said they did.
Yeah, no, I can count on like one hand how many times I haven't had a lunch.
But still, not like more than 4 hands for me.
4 hands.
Yeah.
Mine's like maybe 1 or 2.
2 hands?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No.
1.5 hands.
I mean, there are a few times where I've had to skip lunch
Yeah.
because a patient's run over or someone needed help or whatnot.
Yeah.
But not too many.
Do you have like a favorite part of your job?
Of dental hygiene? Yeah.
What's your favorite part?
I love interacting with patients most of the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you get a new buddy every hour.
Yeah.
It's not and you're doing the same thing,
Oh, for sure.
but because it's a different person you're doing it to, it feels different. Like
Right.
you're going through the same motions, but everyone's mouth, everyone's teeth, everyone's gums, everyone's saliva, breath, all the things are different.
Do you ever get like bored of it? Like, have you ever been like, God, I'm bored of cleaning teeth today?
Yeah.
I have too. Like,
There are days where you're like,
I'm
okay,
cleaning and I'm like, this is like really boring me
if
right
I
now.
see one more super clean person, I will leave.
Yeah.
And it's the super clean people that are boring,
Like, I want to see.
which is the biggest compliment a hygienist can give
Yeah,
you.
is if you're
If the
boring.
hygienist is like, well, that was boring today, that's a compliment
I agree.
because you take care of yourself. There's nothing for us to, there's stuff for us to do, but there's like, when we see someone who's not boring,
I want to see like clouds of plaque coming up.
Yes, like
Like right around the premolars. That's like my favorite spot to
really,
clean.
yeah. I like the linguals of the mandibular molars,
Okay.
like right on the straights when they have like that build up right there on the gums. You're like,
It's just fun to see it come off.
yes, I love it when you put your Cavitron in and the plaque or the calculus goes like
Yeah.
through the pockets.
It's the best.
I'm like, oh, I did something. I got that.
yeah.
Yesterday I had someone like that.
Did you?
Real good. Yeah.
I had a couple today.
Oh,
Yeah.
lucky. I don't even remember today.
I had a good day today. I can't complain.
That's good.
Because if like one person compliments me, it like makes my whole day.
Oh, yeah. She got some good compliments
From one
today.
person. He was the best. He was like, you're just so professional and kind and you do such a thorough job and you're efficient. And I was like, keep going. Tell me more. Then he told me that if he was selling me alcohol, he would card me. And I was like, I just turned 30. Like, thank you so much.
He's like, what?
I'm like, do you want to come tomorrow? Do you want to get your teeth cleaned tomorrow and the
You
next
can
day?
come in every day and say
Yeah, I
these
was like,
things
if
to
you're
me.
this kind, like, I'll do just about anything.
Oh my goodness. No, I didn't get any good compliments today. I had a day.
They were
That's
thinking.
fine.
They were thinking it.
Okay, thanks. What about you? What's your favorite other than like the patients? I do think that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I would say
What is that?
my AC.
Oh, I didn't know you had AC.
Yeah, of course. It's hot here. But my favorite part of hygiene is probably like the idea that you are helping someone. When a patient is thankful for what you've done, which I feel like this week I've had quite a few who are like really grateful and they like learning and they want to hear more and they appreciate what you're doing. There's like some pride in that.
Yeah,
and you
sure.
feel like you're doing a good job because people recognize it. Not that you need the recognition, but sometimes I think people don't understand why they're coming.
Yes.
They just think, oh, it's another thing to check off the to-do list, which I get. But at the same time, you're getting all this stuff off their teeth, and some people just don't know. I love the cleaning part. I think if I could just all day, like someone just sit in the chair and just Cavitron, I would just Cavitron all day.
Just like keep them coming. Like you got big calculus, just come in. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that it's not my favorite part by any means, but you know how people like do not like to floss. It's a habit. It's the worst habit to start. It's a hard habit to start. It's a pain in the butt habit to keep going. It is what it is. Some people got it so good. Some people just can't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I should have like a drive-through flossing station.
There you go.
$1 a day.
But
like,
if you
have to pay me $1 and I'll floss your teeth every day. And
you could up that, like.
But like if I get 50 people and I can floss somebody in less than a minute.
True.
And if I'm getting 50 people in an hour, you're getting $50 an hour. I can floss 50 people in 20 minutes.
Yeah, true.
Right?
I hate polishing.
Really?
Unless it's like a satisfying polish where I'm like getting stuff off. Like I have some patients who they just have so much plaque and they're like hand scale only. So the Cavitron really helps in those scenarios.
Yes.
Because it gets everything off and you can suction it up. But I feel like when you have to do it with the hand instruments, it just kind of moves from spot to spot. So when you polish that, like you see the roughness go away and it's beautiful. But like if they're healthy or whatever, I'm just like, this is a waste of my time.
I love polishing. I feel like it's that final touch where it just like shines everything up.
Yeah.
Even on healthy patients, it's like that last step that kind of like goes under the gums a
little bit. But do you like getting polished?
I don't know.
Okay, because I don't. Like the texture makes me gag.
Oh. I don't think I care.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. Like, I like how it feels, so I can appreciate it, like, getting done. But I just, like, I could go without it. When people are like, you don't have to polish, I'm like, okay.
You're like, okay. I'm like, I like to do that last step. I feel like takes that last bit of stain off.
Yeah.
That you didn't know was there. And then you're like, oh, look at that. It's even whiter.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I had this one patient in Phoenix. And I don't know how he got so stained, his teeth.
Yeah.
Staining, oh man.
That's probably my least favorite. If it's hard to get off. When it's coming off, you know, with the Cavitron, it's like easy.
Yeah.
I'll deal with that stain all day. But there is stain that does not come off easy. No. I swear. It just like you could go over it 1,000 times.
What is it? Is it like the coffee, the tea, the blueberries? What is it?
The worst stain I've ever seen is grape juice. He would drink like a couple glasses of grape juice a day. It was so bad.
I wonder. Okay, well, he came in. Teeth are like in between all the things, just dark black. Oof, almost.
Yeah.
And I said, challenge accepted. So I Cavitron. And then I went back and I polished. Cavitron polished again. Oh, he looked so good.
That's awesome. That's the best feeling.
So good.
And you feel like you've made a difference.
I gave him the mirror and I was like, okay, like, what do you think? And he's like, oh my gosh. He was so sad when I was leaving. I'm like, they can do it.
They'll do it.
Any hygienist can do it.
Yeah.
They just have to take the time to do it.
Yeah.
But he didn't have anything else. So I could spend all my time on the stain. Like I clean
That's
everything,
true.
But then you can really spend time there because he does such a good job.
That's true. Yeah. I changed my mind about worst stain though. Grape juice was really bad, but cigarettes.
Oh no, cigarettes.
Because I've had patients where I swear like you do a perfect job and you're so proud of it. Yeah. 3 months later, this one patient would come back just completely black top to bottom, like tar.
Oh, yeah.
And like it comes off, but I'm like, girl, I've been working hard on this. Like,
can you please do your
I'm like,
part?
let's cut back. She was never going to cut back.
No.
She even told me, she's like, I love red wine and I love cigarettes. I'm like, Papa.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, do you, but it's making my job
keep
harder.
Taking this stain off your teeth every 3 months.
I do have some people who really apologize for the stain. They're like, I'm so sorry that things are so stained. but I'm not going to quit coffee. And I always just say, like, we can get it off. Like, it's nothing to be sorry about.
It's like things like that, like the coffee or whatever. I'm like, I'm not going to ask you to stop drinking your coffee.
No.
Maybe drink some water afterwards.
That's what I always say. Just swish with some water.
Swish, swish, swish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Spit out the first one, swallow the rest.
I love that. Yeah, I agree.
No, I mean, that's the thing. But I do love that part of hygiene, too, is the education part. I've never felt happier when I can introduce something new. I'm like, try this. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay. And then they come back in 6 months, they're like, I was doing it. And I love it. And it's working.
Yeah.
And
especially when they're excited about it.
Of it.
Yeah.
When they're excited about it and you help them find something.
Because I don't really like telling people to floss. Like, I do it. But people don't want to hear that. They know they need to floss more. They don't want to.
Right.
But when someone comes to you, like, I think my favorite is when someone asks questions. Yes. And then I'm able to tell them a good, like, alternative or whatever the case may be. And then they take it to heart and they do it.
Okay. So if I'm a patient who's not a good flosser and I ask a question or whatever, what's your flossing spiel?
Oh, my God.
Do you have a flossing spiel?
I don't know. No.
Come on. What do you tell a patient? Like if you're like, okay, you would benefit from flossing, mm-hmm. but you don't want to sound naggy.
Oh, I typically tell people to tack it on to another habit.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, what's something that you do every single day? And I try to make it not brushing your teeth. Because obviously, if they would tack it onto that, hello.
Yeah.
Or start with floss picks a couple days a week and do it when you're sitting on the couch watching TV, if you have free time, if you're in the car. I mean, maybe not the car, but I know some of my patients keep floss picks in the car and they do it.
I do it.
But tack it onto another habit is my big one.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Except I say, okay, so we all want to, this is my legit spiel. Okay. You're getting the one-on-one you piece.
Okay.
We all think we got to floss right at the end of the night, right after we brush our teeth and everything, but we're exhausted and we're tired and we most likely don't do it.
Yeah.
I said, well, that's not true. We don't have to do it then. And everyone goes, what? I'm like, the science behind flossing is you want to get in there one time a day. I don't care when you do it.
Yeah.
Like the science behind flossing is getting in there one time a day and moving, like removing floss. I mean, removing plaque, but also moving it around. You want to move it around one time a day so it doesn't stay in the same place to make your gums mad or cause cavities.
That's good.
So I don't care when you do it. I say start with floss picks and do it when you're doing something else. Yeah. How often do you sit down and watch a TV show or a movie?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah. How often do you sit in front with your phone on YouTube or TikTok? Grab a floss pick. Do you read? Grab a floss pick. Do you shower? Grab a floss pick.
I do the shower one a lot, but I did stop saying that.
Why?
To some people, because I had this happen twice to me where I kind of felt like an ass because I had a patient and he struggled really bad with depression. Uh-huh. And so I was like, do you shower every day? Because when you're showering, and he was like, not always. And like, he kind of was embarrassed by it. And I felt really bad. And I was like, well, I wasn't trying to like shame him or anything, but yeah, it's the first thing that pops in my head, like something that people do every day.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't one of those people, which is okay. It just like, I don't know, made me feel kind of bad, but.
Oh no, I get it. So I word it in a different way. I say, I have a bag of floss picks by my Kindle. When I pick up my Kindle to read my book, I grab a floss pick. I have a bag of floss picks by my TV. I have a floss pick in my shower. When I shower, I grab a floss pick. When I let my conditioner soak in. So I don't accuse them of showering.
No, and I wasn't accusatory.
I put it like fully on me. No, yeah.
But yeah.
But I put it fully on me.
I always try to make it a joke.
My flossing spiel. Me too. Because I don't want to ever come off naggy because how many people say like, oh, you're going to tell me to floss again.
Yeah.
And it's like.
I used to say this a lot, but I don't say it as much anymore. I'll be like, you know what? Flossing is so much like the gym. Like you're gung-ho for 2 weeks and you go and you're so good because people leave and they floss after their dental appointments, I feel like.
True.
And then slowly you're like, I'm not going to go today. And like slowly you're like, I'm not going to floss today. And that used to get so many laughs out of people at my first job. Like we would giggle about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I stopped saying it. It was just like here, our demographic is a little different. I saw a lot of people my own age.
Okay.
And maybe 10 years older than me.
People up here, like the demographic we see, not a lot of them are going to the gym. Some of them.
Yeah,
all
and
of
not
them.
necessarily because they're unhealthy, but just like
No,
maybe
they're just
they're
older.
like 75 plus.
Yeah.
65 plus.
Yeah. Everything I say, like, it's not a joke, but I say it in a joking manner because I think people take it better. So when people do say, "Oh, you're just gonna tell me to floss again," and I'm like, "Only because I care."
Yeah,
Or
that's
whatever.
true. That's good.
And then they laugh.
I feel weird being preachy too because I feel like when I first became a hygienist, I was pretty young and people took it, I don't know. I
It's
feel like
hard
coming
to
from like
tell older people, not just older people. Like I was 22.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So even telling 30-year-olds, like, you really should be flossing.
And people were like, "Have you even graduated high school?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, it was hard. Like with my first job, I first started working at an office that was right where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
So I started seeing a bunch of my friends' parents
Oh, weird.
and grandparents and people in my ward and people in the stake, like for my church and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I started seeing these people
That's crazy.
and they knew me when I was growing up, like since I was 7 years old.
So that's like hard to take you serious.
Yeah.
They're
And
like-
then they see me as a professional and it's weird, but they all respected me. They were all kind, but
Of
it's hard
course.
to be like, you need, blah, blah, blah. But I did it and it was fine because we had a good rapport. But I wonder how many of them left like, Elise Barrick is telling me what to do?
You're like, yeah.
Can you believe that silly girl who would come to our house is now cleaning our teeth?
It's so weird. That's
Oh
true. I've
my
never
gosh.
had that scenario really. I have like known people who knew my family members, but here, weirdly
What?
enough, I have 2 patients who worked at the fire department in my hometown.
What?
Well, okay, I said that kind of weird, but the husband worked at the fire department. The wife obviously did not.
Right.
But they know like a few of my family members. They were like asking about my grandpa.
Wow.
And then
It's
she'll
kinda
always be like,
cool.
"Say hi to your mom for me." Yeah, it's random. When we came upon it very randomly because he was telling me where they were from and that he worked at the fire department. I was like, "Oh, do you know so-and-so?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, that's my family member."
Oh my goodness. I love those connections. That's so cool. We see so many people.
Oh,
The
we do.
chances of you meeting someone who knows someone though that you know is so high.
Oh, for
We
sure.
see so many people.
Yeah, I agree.
In one day, we're seeing 8 to 10 different people,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
And that's not including the job where I saw like literally 16 in a day when I was
Yeah.
doing double hygiene.
No. I've never done that.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean,
It just seems busy. Do your days fly by though?
some of them when
No,
things
I-
go smoothly, but then
But you
there's so
still
much
can have
room for
frustrating
error.
days.
Oh, all of my days were frustrated. That's why I left my first job because I just couldn't do it anymore.
Really? How long did you last?
Almost 2 years. And I worked there
Okay.
for 3.
So you worked your first job 3 years, 1 year as an assistant, 2 years as a hygienist?
No, 1 year as just single column hygiene. And I worked
Oh.
with another hygienist. But then we got bought out. And after COVID, there was 2 of us, but the other hygienist left. And they said, basically, we can give you a raise and you could do double hygiene, or we can hire someone else. And I was like, I'll try it.
Dang. So you did double hygiene and you did it for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then you were burnt
Maybe
out.
a year and a half. I was so burnt out. My body was like in pain. And then have an assistant who knows what they're doing, which towards the end I did. And she was incredible. We just like anticipate exactly what I was wanting
Uh-huh.
and just do it. But in the beginning, when you're training someone to do that, it either sticks or not. I mean, I had one assistant who just, she wanted me to like come get her and tell her what I needed. And it's like, sometimes I don't have time to find you wherever you are
Yeah, no.
in our office. And then,
Well, especially because she's assigned to you, right?
yeah, just me.
Like she did not have to do anything else around or
No.
with anybody else.
No.
So what, she's just sitting around and you're going and telling her what to do?
Yeah, I would like find
No.
her sitting in like a back op, just sitting there.
No.
And she was young, and I don't know. I typed up like all these instructions and these forms that she should fill out. If I was being so type A, but
You really were though.
I typed up
But I'm
these
sure it
forms
helped.
because I have to write a note about this later. And if you're not going to write it,
Oh.
like
I didn't even think about that.
With the second assistant that I had, she was amazing, and she would fill out the part she needed to, and then I would just do the rest.
Oh, nice.
So she would fill out just the exam. That's it. That's all she needed to fill.
Because your assistants would be there for the exam. You would not even be there for the exam.
Which I didn't love that. And I didn't
Do you have to tell your assistant, tell him this and this?
Or I would write like a little, we used route slips, which I am a big advocate for route slips and day sheets and things like that. You know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it does make an office run smoother. It just does.
Yeah. I am a huge, huge advocate for that. But we had route slips. So on the bottom, we would just write like if there was a chief complaint or whatever the case may be. And the route slip really was the Bible of the patient. Like I knew if they needed to pay. I knew if their fluoride was covered. I knew everything about them. Like, and that's when I worked with my sister. So my sister was in charge of route slips. It had everything you needed to know. It was incredible.
That's amazing.
And of course, they're pending treatment. You just quick glance, you know, if they need a crown or whatever the case may be. So those are awesome. But
I would love that.
It helped a lot with double hygiene.
Okay, that's cool.
But
I don't know if
I will
ever
never
want to
do it again.
Hygiene.
I know our office just like a few months ago, they were like, would you guys ever? We were both like,
Nope.
But I don't think we ever would there. But I think they were just curious.
The thing is we have room for it.
Oh, we do. But no.
For like double hygiene in the morning.
I just think things need to run so perfectly and insurance needs to be verified and everything needs to be so on it and perfect. It leaves a lot of room for error and frustration.
Okay.
And I spent a lot of time frustrated, not because of those things, but just because things fall through the cracks.
And you don't have enough time to fix them yourself.
And like you're saying with home care instructions and things like that, you really don't get that one-on-one time with them. And I had a lot of patients there that I really enjoyed chatting with that we missed out on.
You don't have time to do that.
Relationship building because I was like, okay, I got to go.
Yeah. See, I don't think I could do it for that reason right there. I love chatting with my patients.
I know.
You know?
I know. No, but I do too. So
there are times where, what is it? The other day, was it you? You're like, what were you laughing about?
Probably.
I'm like,
I just like don't want her laughing and like I'm on my own not laughing. Like
what?
No, I'm just kidding.
You're with your patient.
I know, but we're not laughing.
We laugh.
No, I'm just kidding.
We laugh. One time, my at the other office that I work at, I was dying laughing, and I also was apologizing profusely. And they're like, after, it's like, what happened? I'm like, this poor guy. I was talking to him, and for some reason, like my arm, I don't know what happened. I don't know if my arm or my elbow or maybe my side was hitting the water syringe, the water. And it was just getting him wet.
Oh my gosh.
And we both don't know how long it was going on until he was like, well, why am I wet? And I was like, I'm so sorry. And we were both dying laughing. Thank goodness. And I just kept apologizing, and they're like, what? Like, what an awkward conversation to hear outside of the office. Like, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's funny.
They're like, what happened? I'm like, I just got him sprayed him with water. Not like this.
Yeah, it was. Just kidding.
I wouldn't put it past me, but no. Oh.
Should we
So
20
that's
questions?
An intro. Yes. 20 questions.
So I think it's me that has to think of the word. So
I'm
now
nervous.
I thought of it 2 days ago because I was like, I need to win this one.
Okay, I'm nervous because I feel like you can do so many things with hygiene and dental. Okay.
Okay.
Does it have, no, let me rethink this. Is it something I wear to work or we wear to work?
No.
Is it something we say in a spiel?
No.
Is it have anything to do with the software on the computer?
No. Wait, how many is that?
3.
Something? Okay.
Is it patient related?
Yeah.
Okay. That didn't help.
Does that narrow it down?
Is it something we're doing to the patient?
No.
Is it something that lives in someone's mouth?
No. Is that 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Patient related. Is it their behavior?
No.
Is it a medical history form?
No.
Patient related. Why can't I think anything else? Is it something the patient wears?
No.
Is it something the patient does?
No. Is that 10?
Sure.
I think it's 10.
Patient related. Does it happen in an operatory room?
Kind of, but
Is it a thing that happens?
no.
What? It's not a thing that happens. It's patient related, and it is it an action?
No.
A verb? Is that the same thing? Don't answer that.
They won't count, but no, it's not a verb.
I think the actions and verbs are the same.
Yeah,
thing.
they are.
Okay.
So that's why it's notable.
Shoot. What am I at?
I think 12 or 13.
I have no ideas.
Okay, so you've established that it's patient related.
Yes.
And it kind of is in an op.
Yes. Is it their belongings?
No.
It's not their behavior. Is it something we give out?
Yeah. I'm so annoyed. You ruined my day.
Like a goodie bag.
Yep.
It's goodie bag?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. That was a good one. I was not going to get
I
that.
thought for a second I had her. I'm so mad.
You definitely had me for a while. I was getting frustrated because I'm like, what could this be? Goodie bag. Yes.
Yep.
What do you put in your goodie bags?
Toothbrush, toothpaste, sometimes mouth rinse, floss. And then obviously if I talk to patients about proxy brushes or floss threaders, sometimes I'll add that, but I don't put it in everybody's, obviously.
I always toss a floss pick in everyone's, even with regular floss.
I don't.
I'm like, I love these.
I'm not a floss pick girl.
Oh, yeah, I am.
I do like tell people to use them if they're not going to use anything else, but I just feel like just floss. I know that's dramatic. But
I think they're great. Oh, yeah, we have differing opinions about this. I did not realize that.
My own husband uses floss picks, so.
Yeah, I use floss picks.
Yeah, I don't know. I just,
I think they're so easy.
I know. I don't know why I'm like that, but
This is so interesting.
I'm just like-
okay. That's okay.
I just make an opinion about something and I just
Stick to it.
it's like that's why I don't like certain things because I just made it up in my mind.
You can be a full-on string flosser. That's fine. That's great.
Are you a water pick promoter?
I've never used a water pick.
Okay.
So I do promote water picks to braces patients.
Okay.
Like hands down. I'm like, you're not going to floss. I already know it. So we use a water pick.
Yeah.
Or I send them, like, they have those ortho floss picks. I say, buy these.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know. Are you a water pick promoter?
Yeah. Especially if people have a lot of restorations like crowns and
Yes.
stuff. I think that they're good for that.
Okay. People come to me and they say, I water pick and their gums look amazing. So I'm like, how can I refute this?
Yeah.
Plus, there's nothing to refute. It's a great extra. Okay. So did you, during your hygiene career, have you had like an aha moment of this is where I'm meant to be, or this is the right choice, or I'm so glad I'm a hygienist?
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because I know I mentioned to you this topic earlier. And the only reason I even knew to think of one is because at my first job, I worked with this hygienist. Her name was Vanessa, and we became friends. She's awesome. But I think she had been a hygienist for 3 or 5 years. I can't remember which one when I first started.
Okay.
And she was the first person I told, I was temping there. It was my second ever day of practicing hygiene.
What?
And I was like, yeah. And they use a very weird x-ray software. It was called VixWin. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No.
It's weird. And yeah. And we still had PSP plates for 2 months when I started there. But anyways,
what?
It's besides the point. But so there were certain things I didn't know how to do.
Yeah.
And so I told her, I was like, it's my second day, but like, don't tell anyone. Like, I'm trying to be cool. And she's like, hey, she's like, I still don't think I've had my moment where I feel like I've truly like got this. She's like, you'll have your moment. And mine is not even super hygiene related, but it did happen in the dental office, obviously. But it was at my last job before I came.
Okay.
And I had a patient come in. It was an older gentleman, and he sat down and he lived on his own. And he was like, I'm having a lot of trouble speaking today. And I was like, okay, like what, like what's going on? And he's like, I don't know. Like, I can't talk. Like what I'm thinking, I can't say it. And I was like, okay. I was like, do you feel like you're having any like muscle weakness or like numbness or anything? And he's like, no, but I'm really tired. And I was like, okay. So, they teach you about stroke protocol.
Yeah.
So I did like the tests, and I worked for this amazing doctor, and I went in there, and I feel like I haven't worked with a dentist that didn't take medical health seriously, except for maybe at my first office. He was just kind of like,
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Not a lot, but like certain things he just didn't care about. And I haven't really worked with anyone like that since then. But this dentist, like, I just knew I could go to him and be like, look, I think he's having a stroke right now.
Yeah.
And so we call his kids, they pick him up, they take him to the hospital. The next day they call and they're like, our dad had a stroke, and he had been having a stroke. I think they could tell for like how long, or I don't know what they do, but
yeah.
They were like, if it had been 20 to 30 minutes longer, it would have turned into something way worse.
Oh my gosh.
You saved our dad's life. And I was like, oh my gosh. You learn all of these things, and they like bombard you with all this information. And still sometimes I'm like, oh, like, is it this or this? And so sending him away that day, like, I still think about it when I'm nervous about a medical thing or standing my ground on a medical issue.
Yeah.
When I know there's protocol, just knowing that like I saved someone, that was really, really cool.
Oh my goodness.
And so
what a cool experience.
Yeah, that was like the moment I was like, okay, like I know what I'm doing. Like everything I've learned, like I know that I'm like doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I just have to trust myself.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you are. That is so cool.
So that's like my coolest hygiene thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
Not cool that he had a stroke, but
no.
But who would have found him? Because if he didn't come to the dentist, he would have been at his house by himself.
Yeah.
If he never had that appointment, like it could have gone
also
bad.
a way to go to like have an open area where he could communicate. Like, I'm having a hard time saying what I'm thinking. I think a lot of it, that's a win. That's amazing.
Yeah, I was so like shocked that I even did that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, Alex, so cool. I don't know if I've ever had an aha moment. I'm sure I have.
I think you probably have.
I think I've had several where I'm like, okay, I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. I love this.
Well, she's been meant to be doing this since she was 8. So
I don't know if I've been meant to, but I have been. Yeah, I'm just that 8-year-old girl who would not let things go. I had to follow through. But I do have several days where I leave and I'm like, I'm a failure.
Oh, I think we all do.
I mean, does every job have that?
Yeah. I mean, like you're not getting through to some like people, or you just feel like everybody is like harder than you think they should be.
Yes.
Like stuff's not coming off like it should. And you're like, why is this taking me so long? Or like,
why today am I not being able to do this? I don't know, as efficiently as I always feel like I do, or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
Or someone leaves and you're like, why do I feel so bad about that?
Yeah.
Just feel like a failure. I'm sure other jobs have this too.
I think every job has it.
Where you're a professional and you feel good about your job one day, and then the next you're like, oh man,
yeah,
I could do better.
But then you have to remind yourself, like, you're just a human. Like,
yeah,
there's room for human error. I think a lot of people feel like, I don't know. Some patients I feel like get frustrated, like if a drop of water gets on their face or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, they
like
would
something
hate me.
Irritates them, and sometimes I want to be like I'm just a person. Like,
yeah,
there's human error. Like, I'm not going to be perfect ever, but I'm not going to be perfect when you sit down in this chair.
That's so true.
But I'm going to do the best that I can
Yeah.
to help you and do a good job.
Oh my goodness, that's so true. I also try to think like, okay, I might feel like I failed, but they left better than they came.
Absolutely.
I still did something.
Yeah.
They're
100%.
way better off, but
And
oh
she
my
gave them the flossing spiel, so they're for sure better off.
the spiel. We probably laughed together.
True. It's this crazy world that we live in.
Yes, with lots of teeth.
Very. Oh, well, yeah, a ton of teeth.
My least favorite thing I hear though is just pull them all out, and every time I'm like, don't do that. Like
I know.
they're joking, and I'm like, but don't do that.
But don't joke about that. I've never met someone who likes their dentures.
Yeah, no one. It changes your way of life, your face. Like who actually keeps their dentures in every single day, like all day long? Some people, maybe
Yeah.
there's that rare person out there, but that's because those dentures fit really well, or they put so much of that glue grip.
Mm-hmm.
And then that
and I feel like
rips
it's aesthetic. I feel like majority of it is aesthetic reasons. Like I have one patient with partials for her front teeth,
Mhm.
and she wears them like religiously. But then I have other patients with partials who they're like, I'm like, do you have your partial? Like I can clean it. They're like, I don't wear that thing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But do you know how much that cost?
Yeah.
They cost a lot, and then a lot of people don't wear them.
Yeah.
And then they can't
But it's
eat
because
what
they're
they
not
want.
comfortable. Like,
They don't feel comfortable going out because they don't want to wear them.
yeah.
It's a whole thing. But okay, I digress.
Me too.
But we live here, and so do all your teeth.
And we just clean them
And we love it most of the time.
majority of the time. We'll see you
Thank
next
you for
week.
joining us. Bye.
Bye.